You are sitting in a weekly meeting. Your manager is praising a colleague for a project you both worked on. You did the heavy lifting, but they are getting the credit. You think it is because they are better at the actual work. But here is the thing. It is rarely about who does the best work. It is about who communicates their work the best. Today we are breaking down the exact reason some people get promoted faster, and it has absolutely nothing to do with technical skill. Most professionals talk about the tasks they completed. People who get promoted talk about the business impact of those tasks. You need to translate your daily work into the language of leadership. Think about your last status update. Most men do this. They list every single thing they checked off their to-do list. They say, I sent 50 emails, I fixed the server issue, and I updated the spreadsheet. It sounds like hard work, but to a director, it just sounds like noise. It destroys their authority because it shows they are stuck in the weeds. Here is what works instead. You translate the task into the result. Instead of saying you fixed the server, you say, I resolved the server bottleneck, which cut our processing time by 20% and saved the team 10 hours this week. See the difference? The first guy is a task doer. The second guy is a business partner. Get this wrong, and people will not take you seriously. They will just keep handing you more tasks. Miss this, and you will keep facing the exact same problem of being overlooked while less skilled peers move up. You have to stop reporting what you did, and start reporting what your work achieved. But communicating impact is completely useless if the right people never actually see it. Which brings us to how you show up. There is a fine line between being visible and being a brag. Strategic visibility means sharing knowledge, documenting processes, and offering solutions in public forums like team meetings. You become the go-to person without ever having to ask for credit. Most men get this completely wrong. They think visibility means reminding the boss how hard they worked. That is not visibility, that is complaining. It sounds harmless, but it actually makes you look insecure and desperate for validation. Here is a practical example of how to do it right. In your next team meeting, when a problem is brought up, do not just sit there waiting to be called on. Speak up and say, I noticed we are struggling with the new vendor onboarding. I put together a quick one-page checklist that streamlined the process for my last client. I can share that with the team if it helps. You just shared credit, you provided a solution, and you highlighted your competence all at once. You are not bragging, you are adding value. That is strategic visibility. But there is a bigger mistake in the next point. Visibility gets you noticed, but managing up gets you trusted. And this is where most men lose respect without realizing it. Your boss is busy, they are under pressure, and they are stressed. The people who get promoted are the ones who anticipate problems before they happen. They do not just bring problems to the boss. They bring problems with two possible solutions attached. Have you noticed how some colleagues always seem to have the boss's ear? It is not because they are kissing up. It is because they are reducing the boss's cognitive load. When you hand your manager a problem without a solution, you are just giving them more work. You are adding to their stress. Think about the last time your boss had to put out a fire. Did they come to you for help, or did they avoid you because you add to the chaos? Professionals who move up quickly act as shock absorbers for their team. They filter the noise. They take raw, messy problems from the front lines and turn them into clean, actionable data for the people at the top. That is a rare skill, and it makes you indispensable. Think about your last interaction with your director. Did you add to their stress, or did you reduce it? If you just drop an issue in their lap and say, the client is unhappy, what should we do? You are forcing them to think. Instead, try this. Say, the client is unhappy with the timeline. I see two ways to fix this. Option A is we push the deadline by a week and absorb the cost. Option B is we pull two resources from the secondary project to hit the original date. I recommend option B because it protects our revenue. What do you think? You just did the heavy lifting. You analyzed the situation, weighed the options, and made a recommendation. You made their job easier. That builds massive trust. But trust is great, and managing up keeps you in their good graces. You also need to handle pressure when things go completely wrong. Promotions go to those who absorb stress, not those who create it. When a project fails, a deadline is missed, or a client is angry, the person who stays calm and focuses on the fix is the person leadership looks at. Emotional regulation is a massive competitive advantage. Here is what most men get wrong. They think being passionate means showing how frustrated they are. They sigh loudly in meetings, they complain about other departments, or they send angry emails. They think they are just being honest. But here is the thing. Complaining about minor issues quietly destroys your professional authority. People stop seeing you as a leader and start seeing you as a liability. When a crisis hits, the amateur panics or points fingers. The professional takes a breath, looks at the data, and asks, what is the immediate next step to fix this? Consider another scenario. A major project gets delayed because another team missed their deadline. The natural instinct is to get angry and send an email copying everyone to prove it is not your fault. Resist that urge. Sending that email makes you look defensive. Instead, send a brief, factual update to the stakeholders. Just state the new timeline, explain the reason without pointing fingers, and outline the steps you are taking to mitigate the delay. You look like a leader in control, while the other person looks like they are making excuses. If a colleague asks you an inappropriate or triggering question in front of the team, like, why are we still waiting on your department, do not get defensive. Do not snap back. Just look them in the eye, keep your voice completely flat, and say, we are finalizing the data to ensure it is accurate. I will have it to you by 3. Calm, direct, no apology. This one mistake, losing your cool, can undermine months of building respect. You have to be the thermostat, not the thermometer. You set the temperature of the room, you do not just react to it. You have your boss handled and your own emotions in check. But what about the rest of the office? Promotions are rarely decided by just your direct manager. They are decided by consensus among directors and VPs. You need lateral relationships. You have to help people in other departments. When your name comes up in a room you are not in, you want people in that room to vouch for you. Most professionals only network with their own team. They eat lunch with the same 3 guys every day. That is comfortable, but it is a career trap. You absolutely need to build alliances across the business. Here is how you do it without being fake. Find out what the other departments are struggling with. Go to the head of operations and ask, what is the biggest bottleneck your team is facing right now with our current workflow? Listen to them. Then, go back to your desk and figure out how your team can make their lives a little easier. When you make other people look good, they remember it. When the VP of operations is in a meeting debating who should lead the new initiative, they will say, we should give it to him. He helped us streamline our logistics last quarter. That is cross-functional influence. It is not about collecting business cards, it is about creating mutual value. But there is one final piece to this. You can communicate well, manage up, stay calm, and build alliances. But if you miss this last mindset shift, none of it will matter. The ultimate secret to getting promoted is realizing that a promotion is just a formal recognition of behavior you are already displaying. You have to operate at the next level before you get the title. If you want to be a manager, you need to start acting like a manager today. Mentor the junior staff. Take ownership of a failing process. Speak in meetings like a leader, not just a contributor. Do not wait for the permission or the title to start doing the work. When you shift your identity from employee doing tasks to leader driving outcomes, everything changes. People start treating you differently. Opportunities start finding you. If you want to keep refining how you communicate, lead, and navigate professional environments, hit subscribe. We break down the practical side of human behavior every week. See you in the next one.